Words to Auld Robin Gray by Alexander Whitelaw. There is an old tune called "The bridegroom grades when the sun goes down," united to old words of a somewhat indelicate character. About the end of 1771 or beginning of 1772, a young lady in Fifthshire, the daughter of a noble family there, and when only in her 21st year, being very fond of a tune, but scrupulous about the words, though she would try her hand at making new words to it. She accordingly set to work and produced a simple ballad of some 8 or 9 verses, which, on becoming known, was received with rapture wherever it spread, was translated into almost every European language, and was made the subject of dramas and of paintings innumerable. This little ballad, which records a tragedy in domestic life, unhappily of no uncommon occurrence, and yet of heart-rending pathos, was called Auld Robin Gray, and the name of its authoress was Lady Anne Lindsay, daughter of the Earl of Balcarres, Viscountess Anne Dalrymple, daughter of Sir Robert Dalrymple of Castleton, Bard. She was born on the 8th December 1750, and was married in 1793 to Sir Andrew Barnard, a son of a Bishop of Limerick, and colonial secretary at the Cape of Good Hope. Her husband died in 1807, without issue. Her own death did not take place till the 6th of May 1825 at Berkeley Square, London, where she had long resided. Lady Anne Barnard's face, says Mr. Charles Kirkpatrick Sharp, was pretty and replete with vivacity, her figure light and elegant, her conservation lively, and, like the rest of her family, peculiarly agreeable. Though she had wit, she never said ill-natured things to show it. She gave herself no airs, either as a woman of rank or as the authoress of Auld Robin Gray. Shortly before her death, she made a communication to Sir Walter Scott, containing a revised copy of Auld Robin Gray, with 2 verses of a continuation or second part. These were printed in a thin 4th volume for the Benedictine Club. In the preface is inserted a letter from the authoress, from which we make the following extract. Robin Gray, so called from its being the name of the old herd at Balcarres, was born, written, soon after the close of the year 1771. My sister Margaret had married and accompanied her husband to London. I was melancholy and endeavoured to amuse myself by attempting a few poetical trifles. There was an ancient Scottish melody, of which I was passionately fond. Who lived before your day used to sing it to us at Balcarres. She did not object to its having improper words, though I did. I longed to sing old Sophie's air to different words, and give to its plaintive tones some little history of virtuous distress in humble life, such as might suit it. While attempting to effect this in my closet, I called to my little sister, now Lady Hardwicke, who was the only person near me. I have been writing a ballad, my dear. I am oppressing my heroine with many misfortunes. I have already sent her Jamie to sea, and broken her father's arm, and made her mother fall sick, and given her Auld Robin Gray for her lover. But I wish to load her with a 5th sorrow within the 4 lines, poor thing. Help me to one. Steal the cow, Sister Anne, said the little Elizabeth. The cow was immediately lifted by me, and the song completed. At our fireside, and amongst our neighbours, Auld Robin Gray was always called for. I was pledged in secret with the approbation it met with. but such was my dread of being suspected at writing anything, perceiving the shyness it created in those who could write nothing, that I carefully kept my own secret. Meantime, little as this matter seems to have been worthy of a dispute, it afterwards became a party question between the 16th and 18th centuries. Robin Gray was either a very ancient ballad composed perhaps by David Rizzio, and the great curiosity, or a very modern matter, and no curiosity at all. I was persecuted to avow whether I had written it or not, where I had got it. Old Sophie kept my counsel, and I kept my own, in spite of the gratification of seeing a reward of 20 guineas afforded in the newspapers to the person who should ascertain the point past doubt, and the still more flattering circumstance of a visit from Mr. Jerningham, secretary to the Antiquarian Society, who endeavoured to entrap the truth from me in a manner I took amiss. Had he asked me the question obliquely, I should have told him the facts distinctly and confidently. The annoyance, however, of this important ambassador from the antiquaries was amply repaid to me by the noble exhibition of a ballad of old Robin Gray's courtship, as performed by dancing dogs under my window. It proved its popularity from the highest to the lowest, and gave me pleasure while I hugged myself in my obscurity. It remains to be added that although Old Robin Gray was originally written to the old tune of "The bridegroom greets when the sun goes down," it is now, with the exception of a first verse which retains the old air, universally sung to a beautiful modern tune composed by the Reverend William Leaves, the rector of Rington, who died in 1828, aged 80. We do not here give a continuation or second part of Old Robin Gray, in which the old gentleman is made to die, and young Jamie to marry the widow, as it is admitted on all hands to be a failure and to destroy totally the beauty of the original story. In the present version we follow chiefly the old reading, which differs somewhat from that given by the authoress when late in life, as the alterations she then made do not appear to us to be improvements. Old Robin Gray by Anne Barnard. When the sheep are in the fold, and the kye all at hem, when all the very world to sleep again, the wares o' my heart fall in showers frae my ee, while my goodman lies sound by me. Young Jamie laud me well, and sought me for his bride, but saving a crown he had naething else beside. To make the crown a pound, my Jamie get to see, and the crown and the pound they were baith for me. He hadna been awa a week, but only twa, when my mother she fell sick, and the cow was down awa. My father brake his arm, my Jamie at the sea, and Old Robin Gray came a-courting me. My father couldna work, my mother couldna spin, I toiled day and night, but their bread I couldna win. Old Rob maintained them baith, and with tears in his ee said, "Jenny, for their sakes, will you marry me?" My heart it said na, and I looked for Jamie back, but hard blew the winds, and his ship was a wreck. His ship it was a wreck. Why didna Jenny dee? And wherefore was I spared to cry, "Where's me?" My father argued sair, my mother didna speak, but she looked in my face till my heart was like to break. They gied him my hand, but my heart was in the sea, and so Old Robin Gray he was a good man to me. I had not been his wife a week, but only 4, when mournful as I sat on the stane at the door, I saw my Jamie's geist. I could not think it he, till he said, I'm come hem, my love, to marry thee. Oh, sair did we greet, and mickle did we say. A kiss we took, nae meer. I bade him gang awa. I wish that I were dead, but I'm no like to thee. And why do I live to say, where is me? I gang like a ghaist, and I care not to spin. I dare not think o' Jamie, for that what be a sin. But I will do my best the good wife I to be, for auld Robin Gray, he's kind to me.